The incomplete conversion table is shown below. Complete the table by filling in one row at a time. Okay, so what we have on the first line is the area of a sheet of paper, and we're told that the area in centimeters squared is 591. What we need to find is what's the area in terms of meters squared or millimeters squared. Okay, so in order to go from centimeters to, well, let's start with meters. Every meter has 100 centimeters in it. Okay, so when we're talking about area, remember it's length times width of a piece of paper. So you've got, on both the length and the width, you've got 100 times more on each, the length and the width, which means that it is going to be 100 times 100 that you're going to be dividing by. Okay, so if we have, for this one, if we have 591 centimeters squared, what that's going to be in terms of meters squared is 591 divided by 100 squared. And that will give us, let's go to the calculator, 591 divided by 100 squared. Okay, so we get 0.0591 meters squared. Okay, now if you wanted to go back from meters into centimeters, you would simply multiply this number by 100 squared, and you would arrive back at 591. So this is 0.0591 meters squared. Okay, now let's go from centimeters the other way into a unit of measurement that's smaller than centimeters. Okay, so in that case, since we're going to something smaller, instead of dividing, we're actually going to multiply. So how many millimeters are in each centimeter? 10. Okay, so we're going to multiply this, since it's 10, and remember it's squared, so we're going to multiply it by 10 squared. Okay, so that one's going to be 591 centimeters squared is equal to 591 times 10 squared millimeters. Okay, so 591 times 100. Okay, and you're given 59,100. And that's in square millimeters. Okay, let's look at the next one. So in the next one, we're going to start with 143. So when we're working with the smallest unit of measurement, and we're headed back to centimeters, which is bigger, and meters, which is even bigger, we're going to be dividing just like we did in this one right here. Okay, so we start with 143 millimeters squared, and in order to get from millimeters to centimeters, remember it's a 10-to-1 ratio, we're going to divide by 10 squared. Okay, so that's in essence dividing by 100. Okay, so that will give us 1.43 centimeters squared. Okay, and now we want to, so that's 1.43. And now we want to go from centimeters on over to meters, which is a 100-to-1 ratio. So we'll take the 1.43, and we will, that's in centimeters squared, and we will divide it by 100 squared. Okay, so 100 squared, that's 1.43 divided by 10,000. Okay, which means we're going to move this decimal place the same amount of zeros that we have. Okay, and we can do that in the calculator. I'll show you in a second. But let's put 1, 4, 3, and let's put some zeros here. So we would move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, And we can confirm that in the calculator. Make sure we moved 5 places. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Whoops, that was too many. This decimal, it's only 4 zeros, so I miscounted. So it's 0.000143. Only 4 zeros here, not 5. Sorry about that mistake. Okay, and you can confirm that in the calculator. 1.43 divided by 100 squared. And it's going to give you basically the same thing. It's saying move the decimal 4 times. Okay, well that's what we did. Okay, so 0.000143 meters squared. Okay, now the next section, area of a desktop. We're starting with 1.9 meters squared. And we're going to centimeters squared and 2 meters squared. So this one is just going to be multiplication. Okay, so 1.9 meters squared is equal to 1.9 times, what's the ratio between meters and centimeters? 100 to 1. So we're going to do 100 squared, and we're multiplying. Okay, so 1.9 times 100 squared, and we get 19,000. 19,000 square centimeters. Okay, and then 19,000 square centimeters to change into millimeters. Remember, centimeters to millimeters is a 10 to 1 ratio. So we'll get 19,000 times 10 squared. Okay, so take that same number times 10 squared. And we get 1,000,000, is that right? 1,900,000 millimeters squared. Okay, so here's 19,000, and here's 1,900,000. Okay, and our last one is just like the first one. So it's 250. We want to go to the left, so we want to go left and right. So remember how we did that on the first one? We divided it by 100 squared to go left, and we multiplied it by 10 squared to go right. So in the last section here, we have 250 centimeters squared. I will do 250 divided by 100 squared. Okay, so it's 250 divided by 10,000. Okay, so that's equal to, we want to move our decimal how many times? I messed it up last time, but we want to move it 1, 2, 3, 4 times. So it starts here 1, 2, 3, 4. So 0.0250 or 25. You can put the 0 here if you want, but you don't really need to. So that is in terms of meters squared. Okay, now take the same number, 250 centimeters, and convert it the other way. So we'll multiply this time. So 250 times the 10 to 1 ratio, so 10 squared. So we're multiplying 250 times 100. 25,000 millimeters squared. Okay, so let's write this, 0.025 meters squared and 25,000 millimeters squared. And that's it.